adapt, to make suitable for a new use or purpose. That's what adapt, that's the definition of adapt, in the dictionary. So that's what you're doing if you're new. If you're a new reseller, is you're adapting yourself for a new use. And you now have a new purpose. In other words, your purpose isn't now just to, get up and do XYZ like you've always done for however many years. But now your purpose is to get out of XYZ and to start a ABC. You have to adapt, And like one of my previous videos says, AEI. We either adapt or die. It's adapt, we must evolve, and we have to innovate. So to make $100 an hour by adapting, so to, because you now have a new use, you now have a new purpose. So you're going to have to adapt yourself for this new, modify yourself. So in other words, where are you? Number one, you're going to be looking for inventory on a daily. Where are you going to find it? Because unless you've been out there for the last, any amount of time, depending on how much time you're spending daily, obviously. But then you would know where the best, thrift shops are. You would know which ones are BS, and there's no reason to stop there. Although, believe it or not, there isn't. This is a little tip. There is no thrift shop that is so bad that you don't stop. Hey, that rhymed. There is no thrift shop so bad that you don't stop. So in other words, you're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to find these places, and which means you're going to have to jump in your car, jump on the internet, type in thrift shops, local thrift shops, jump in your car and drive around, because not every thrift shop's going to be listed, because new thrift shops open all the time, they close all the time, but you'll find the main ones. You'll find the main ones in your town because they've been there, and they're established and they have a web presence, so you should have any problem finding them. But like I said, what you're doing at that point is you're modifying your daily actions. You're not doing what you normally do that day. You're going to spend time out on the road, and maybe maybe that means you got to load up the kids, or load up. Hopefully, maybe it's only just one, and say, hey, we're going thrifting. And just go out there and hustle through it, man. And it's going to be. That's tough, that's hardcore, but that's how you got to do it. And I've done it that way many times. I've had my little girl in the basket, I'm thrifting, and there she is, she's tiny. And it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun, that's for sure, because I had to work, but we do have to. Things were a lot different back then too. So, thrift shops weren't near as busy as they are now, but I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, right, you're going to do things differently today than what you normally do. You're going to get out there, you're going to search out some thrift shops on foot, in your car. In other words, that means just drive in the areas of town that you've never been to before. That's all it is. Because you can find thrift shops in the strangest places. If once you've exhausted, maybe you found a lot of thrift shops, then this weekend, plan yourself a garage sale route. That's a little tongue twister. But, set up a route, and you're going to get out there this weekend and garage sale. Maybe you're not a garage sailor. Maybe you're a casual garage sailor. But this weekend, you're going to take it to the next level. In other words, you're going to be up at the ready to hit the yard sales. You're going to be the first one there. And on that note, if you want to, a little tip on, how to kill it at garage sales. Yes, you want to be the first one there. Early bird definitely gets the worm in the yard sale game. So, but there is a little small stipulation, and a lot of people forget about it, is you can only be the first one to 1 or 2 yard sales. That's it, because then it gets late, and you're not the first one. Someone else was the first one at the other yard sale. So pick a yard sale wisely. Do all the back end research that you can. Try to beforehand research and try to find out what area of town the garage sales are in. You can try to see if anybody has pictures. You can see what they're advertising, what type of items are going to be there, and in other words, just try to pick the best one. Based on your deductions. Try to pick the best one, because, like I said, you can only be the first guy at usually 1 yard sale. Honestly, sometimes 2, but usually it's just 1. going to yard sales, being there at 4 a.m. or, you're not going to be there at 4 a.m., but I mean getting up at 4 a.m. instead of, maybe 7 on a Saturday and being out at the yard sales, by 8:30 or 9, you're up at 4:30 and you're out the door at 5 and you're at the yard sale at like 5:45, 5:30, which most people, they'll start their yard sales at the earliest, as far as I can tell, usually about 7 o'clock. So, if you're there, but you want to be there early, 6:30 or whatever, you want to be out front if it starts at 7, you want to be the first guy. And like I said, if you can get out and you see them, maybe they're set up early, then you can go on over there and start looking before anyone. So, but check out my video, matter of fact, on yard selling and how to kill it at garage sales, because that video is chock full of tips just like this. And this was just one tip from that video. So, that will definitely help you on your way to get some cash in your pocket, to get you started, to get you out there to making money. But yes, killer tip. Thrift shops are grouped. So where there's one, there are others. So, just go lurking, just go looking and you will find them. Be careful though, because a lot of times they're not in the best areas of town, because I think they want to stick where the rent is cheap. So, but the reason you clicked on this video was to find out how to make $100 an hour. And what I've shown you here, what I've told you guys here, is basically what I do, and it's what I'm doing on a daily. It's what I had to do when I quit my job back in corporate America for AT&T. I was with that company, 6 years? Seemed like forever, but that was back in my early 20s. Just adapting to your surroundings and modifying and doing things differently. You're going to need to adapt, you will need to evolve, and you'll need to innovate your business as you go through this, as you get started. But I know a lot of you guys are just starting out, and you're looking for ways that you can, practical ways that you can dig in, and start making some money. And the best way, to start making money right now is to get out there, hit your local thrift shops. Really just start in your house. Like I've said many times, just start in your house and sell what you have, laying around. That's the easiest way to start. And basically, you're starting for no money that way, no money down. And whatever you sell on eBay, take that money and then go to the thrift shops. Then hit the yard sales. So right, when your store is selling $800 a day in sales, then you're making $100 an hour. In other words, or you're generating $100 an hour worth of income, from your eBay store, or from your eBay and your Poshmark and your Etsy, and your OfferUp, because, I do all of the above. Not to say that any one of those is better than the other, but used all together, in conjunction with one another, I think it's best to build across the platforms, although, it takes a lot more time that way. But, there are softwares and things that help you along with that in that area. I won't get into that today. But, like I said, it's $800 in sales daily, and that's going to be $800 an hour as long as you're putting in, and it doesn't matter what you're doing throughout that time, as long as your store is generating $800 in sales daily. And that could be many different business models. And it just depends. Do you want to go for basically it's going to be either the quick nickel or the long dime. That's how they say it. So in other words, do you want to sell really high end merchandise that takes longer to sell, things that are very expensive, or do you want to sell things cheaper that sell much faster? So you've got to decide that, among other things, depending on your situation, because in the beginning, at least for a while, you're going to be running this out of your home. So you will definitely need to adapt your home life, your living conditions to fit and suit your goals, your business agenda. So there will be more adapting going on in your physical space. You will be adapting your environment to fit your goals, to fit your purposes, rather than, everyone tends to be products of our environments. In other words, very affected by our environments, looking only at our environments, and that's what determines and dictates how we feel and how we act on any given day, depending on our conditions, our living conditions. But when you quit looking at that and you begin to look past that, into the future, so to speak, to see yourself attaining your goals and said desires, then things, and then you begin to adapt your surroundings to fit that narrative. But it will start depending on where you are in this game. I mean, this advice is practical for I think for sellers on any level. But adapting, yes, is definitely AEI. Like, check out my video. I did a video over this a little more in depth, and it's just on that adapting, evolving, and innovating your businesses, and how to basically do that and how to apply that in the reselling world. But check that out. That is Reseller's Rant. Matter of fact, I'll put a link right here. Why am I pointing? This is an audio. But that's it. Okay, so you like there's an old saying, you got to crawl before you walk. So in other words, before you can make $800 a day in sales, start with $100 a day. Make that your goal. Start it instead of $100 an hour, which is easily doable in this game. And to make $100 an hour is not as hard as there's no doubt. So you're going to work hard for it, and you're going to bust your butt to get there. But once you get there and you attain that level, in other words, once you get that established store on eBay and you get that established customer base, because personally, I'm running 35% repeat business regularly for 12 plus years now. And it could be even higher than that. Honestly, I don't monitor it that closely. I'm too busy with other things. But I could pull those numbers, but I know it's around 35. I'm thinking it's more around 37 to 42, honestly, but I don't want to lie. So I'll say 35 very safely. But my point is, if you took away 35% of my business income right now, that would hurt. See, and the reason I have it is because I have repeat, I have loyal customers, people who love what I sell them. They love my service. They love my products. They love my quality control. They trust me. Right, exactly. Someone just said trust. Exactly. They trust me, and that's what's crucial. That's what's crucial. Building trust with your audience, with whoever it is you're selling to. And on that note, I know I've been all over the place with this video, but I know these are good tips for you guys. So just apply the things that I've talked about today, and you're going to be well on your way to making $100 an hour. So know your audience. Determine who your audience is going to be.
Your clients.
Your audience, the people you're selling to, because they're the audience, and they're basically they're looking at what you have until they decide to buy. Then they become your customer.
Yeah.
But you don't have a customer until you've sold to someone. Like I said, on that note, when choosing what to buy and sell, what to be a reseller of, you want to choose a thing, a specific niche. And I've preached this over and time again. And if you really want to know, I've actually made more than a few videos on finding your niche and determining, what to go into, what to specialize in. Because if you want any chance at success in this game, at great success, not nickel and dime, but real money, then you need to niche down and go for depth, not width. And that all starts with determining and knowing your customer, knowing who wants to buy from you, who's looking in your store, who is looking at what you're selling. Those are your audience. So if you're selling, let's just to make it easy, men's shoes, then who's your audience? Very simple. It's men. But then you could easily niche down right there, and you could go into men's dress shoes only. But it wouldn't really make sense to just do dress shoes, but you could do that. And guess what? Your dress shoes would go for more than the next guy's dress shoes, the same shoes. Or you're going to get more always because that's all you sell. I'm assuming you guys are going to looking at clothing because that's the best. That's what everyone's selling right now. That's what thrift shops are full of. Thrift shops are 80% clothing, and that's why so many people go into clothing. But that also at the same time makes it very, very competitive. So, be ready to hustle your face off and to get down in the trenches and get dirty and work very hard for a while because it will be tough in the beginning. But if you press on, you keep pushing, apply these principles in your business, adapt, evolve, innovate, then you will be successful. And